once Grandpa Hickory. Listen, I've been looking at the investigations into the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and I saw a bunch of things today on Lyndon Baines Johnson. And they said that there is so much blood trails, and body bags of Lyndon Baines Johnson and Lady Bird Johnson, that they are actually the modern day Bonnie and Clyde. They had a lot of people killed and murdered, and the blood trail is unbelievable. But I was looking today, and they had a man that was had a lot of information about what they were doing and was going to turn them in, and all of a sudden he come up dead. He was shot 5 times in the chest from a distance of 15 feet away, and it was ruled a suicide because Lyndon Baines Johnson intervened in Texas, and it was ruled a suicide. Well, years later, they were saying on the investigation of LBJ, I was watching it today, it's really going into detail. And this man was an absolute murdering criminal. He had his own hitman. It's unbelievable. I mean, people, what this man did. He had John Fitzgerald Kennedy murdered because Kennedy and his brother, the Attorney General, they had discovered all kinds of crimes that LBJ had committed, and they were going to prosecute him. They were going to drop him from the race. They already had a follow-up for a vice president for 1964's election, but LBJ had him killed. Okay, now John Fitzgerald Kennedy was stopping the Vietnam War. The first thing LBJ did is rush in there. His wife had all kinds of stock in Bell Helicopter in Grand Prairie, Texas, which is a very wicked, ungodly, Democrat defense organization that wanted to see American citizens murdered and killed in Vietnam so they could make billions of dollars. So they gave hundreds of millions to LBJ, and he continued the Vietnam War, and we lost, what, 59,000 American citizens that were killed in that war that John Fitzgerald Kennedy was going to stop. And the first thing LBJ, LGBTQ actually, but anyway, because he was heavily involved in sodomy, and he was heavily attracted to young boys, but he was never prosecuted. They were talking about that today. I watched it myself. He was never prosecuted and damaged so many young little boys. But anyway, John Fitzgerald Kennedy came in. The first thing he did was stop the Peace Corps. And the first thing he did was started forced busing in the United States of America. He destroyed our education. He had people shipped into our schools that followed discrimination. They had our teachers removed. They demanded that American history be stopped and only black history from Africa be taught in their schools. And they did not want white teachers or white principals. They wanted all black. Well, people, 2025 now, you know, I heard a bunch of them today talking on the radio, and they said, well, we voted for Donald Trump as long as we have minority rights over whites. But if he don't give us minority rights over whites, we're going to vote Democrat. People, these are the enemies from within our nation. We have it to face. We have it to face. Some have assimilated, but the majority of them are militant. They're known as BLM and Antifa, and they are the Democrat Party. They're their mercenary soldiers that burn cities down and murder innocent people in the streets of America. And the Democrats like Harris, Kamala Harris, Communist Harris, She bailed them out as fast as they was put in jail. She bailed them out. I'm telling you, people, the Democrat Party is a party of blood. They are a terrorist organization. Look at all the crimes they have committed. Look at Clinton, the Clinton family. Look at Obama. Look at the hundreds of millions of dollars they have. People, this thing ought not to be. We do not need the Democrat Party in our government. They need to be put out. They have supported terrorists. Obama sent hundreds of billions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, to Iran so they could buy missiles from China and from North Korea to use on Israel. They've been doing this for years. The Clintons did it. Every time Israel stood up and tried to fight, they'd tell them, oh, no, let's do diplomacy. Diplomacy. Wait a minute now. Let's do diplomacy. Go ahead and give them your land that God promised you. Go ahead and give it to them. Go ahead and give it to them. I'm telling you, people, it is a crying shame what we are going through. I mean, people, this thing ought not to be. But I was looking at the trail of blood and the body bags of Lyndon Baines Johnson. And his name ought to be removed from Texas. He is a murderer. He is the one that set up and arranged the entire assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy in 1963 because he was a criminal. And Bobby Kennedy, the Attorney General, was going to put him in prison. So he had the Kennedys murdered. He told people the day before, he said, well, now this was November 21st, 1963. You can study it, research it, I have. And he stated this fact. He said, and I quote, after tomorrow, the Kennedys would never cause me a problem again. That was Lyndon Baines Johnson. Did you know that he stood beside the woman that her husband's brains were blown out of his head and went all over her body, her dress, everything was covered with blood. And when he was sworn in, she went up there and stood right beside him, and they said, why don't you clean up? She said, no, I want them. And she pointed at him to see what they've done. And if you'll look at that of him swearing, he put his hand on the Bible. He got the biggest smile on his face. And you know, I have read there are so many people that were murdered. Like that man that was shot 5 times in the chest from 15 feet away, and it was ruled a homicide. Well, they dug that man up. And they investigated, and in this investigation, they brought forward the facts that it was a homicide. But yet the Texas judge Setz, or whatever his name was, the crooked judge, that he ought to be hanged for what he did. They covered it up. And that man was murdered because he was going to expose LBJ and the crimes he had committed against the American people. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe. YouTube don't like me coming on here and talking like this. I've noticed most of my videos might get 10, maybe 12 views. YouTube don't like conservatives. They don't like people that are for America being great again. But I am for America being great again. Hit the like button, subscribe. See you on the next video.